What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am Chris. This is Watch Chris. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that bell icon, and of course liking this video if you find it useful or helpful. Today, we're talking about Panerai. I have two Panerais to show you guys. I want to talk about retail versus the aftermarket, not only for Panerai, but the market in general for brands that are not Rolex. I really love to talk about this subject, and I think it's something that I haven't talked about here on my channel in a little while, and I want to talk about it today. And I want to use Panerai as an example. I have two Panerai to show you guys, both of them lent into the channel by Bezel GetBezel.com or the Bezel app. Definitely check them out. I will put a link down in the description below. If you're not familiar with them, they are a marketplace. They have auctions. They also have buy nows. You can make offers on watches. They have tons of watches, in the thousands of watches. They have a very modern website and a modern app. I love just going through the watches on a daily basis and just taking a look at what they have added, because they add watches every single day. All of their watches are authenticated in-house. No matter how you actually buy it on their website, all of their watches are authenticated, and you can't say that about a lot of marketplaces out there. Also, they have a concierge service, which is pretty incredible. If they don't have a watch, they will source that watch for you, and it's free of charge. They do have Panerais for sale. They have the two Panerais that we're going to be looking at today. Those are for sale on their website for a very heavy discount off of the retail price. Today we're taking a look at a 1271, which is a 40. If you are not familiar with that watch, this is a white dial version with the P900. The P900 is a thinner movement, an in-house movement from Panerai. This gets a 40mm case. This was actually very big news when this was released by Panerai, because they make larger watches, especially in the Luminor case. You're getting 100 meters of water resistance, and really Panerai came out with this not to make it a dive watch, more of an everyday sports watch. Think Cartier Santos, not Submariner. This is a way more comfortable version of the Luminor. If you think that's too big, this will actually wear more like a smaller sports watch on your wrist, because most Panerai out there have very short lug spans, including this watch. It does wear smaller on your wrist. But the point that I was trying to make earlier, this actually retails for around $8,000 currently on the Panerai website. And of course, Bezel have this currently for sale for $6,495, somewhere in that range, below $6,500. So you're immediately getting a hefty discount if you go to the aftermarket. So why would you ever buy this watch at retail? Unless you want to own it from new, and I do get that. I understand a lot of people want to own the watch new. They want to be the first owner. I've never had that problem, and I've saved a lot of money because of it. Most of the watches that I purchase are on the secondary market, and I end up saving a lot of money off of retail. When you buy a Panerai and you walk out of the store, you're going to lose money. The only watch that doesn't happen with right now is basically Rolex, Richard Mille, maybe certain Patek Philippe's and APs. But if you're leaving the store with a watch and you're just walking in, usually you're losing a few $1,000s almost immediately. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. The next watch we're going to talk about is an even bigger discount off of the retail price. The retail price on the 619 comes in at around $10,700. That's because it is in titanium. But the main reason is because of its movement. The movement in this watch is a micro-rotor. Pretty big news when they came out with this watch. Obviously, it thins down the case a lot. This is also titanium, so it's lightweight. It wears really well on your wrist. It is in 45mm, but again, you don't have the crown guard on this watch, and it does have a very short lug to lug, so that means it does wear a little bit smaller than the 45mm dimensions. 45mm in Panerai usually means it wears like a 43mm watch, in my opinion. I'll show you both of these watches on my wrist, and we'll also do a lume shot. Usually Panerai do very good with lume. This is a 1940s case, and usually with a titanium case, Panerai pair it with a brown dial. This is sort of a tobacco color. It goes really well with titanium. Most people would think it's black at first glance. However, when you look closer, you realize it's a tobacco color, which I think looks amazing. This is a 3-day movement, so you get 3 days of power reserve as well on this micro-rotor movement, which you can see from the back. Great watch, and it has that Panerai DNA. Both of these watches have the Panerai DNA. However, they aren't dive watches. These are technically sports watches. So if these were dive watches, I would tell you a little bit more about the history of Panerai's dive watches. However, the truth is Panerai were truly one of the first tool watches. They were one of the first purpose-built watches that were meant to be used underwater. They have an incredible history, and a lot of that involves the water and being underwater, and a lot of their watches have been used by militaries throughout the world. Some cool watches, even some Rolex movements mixed in. So the history is there with Panerai. Some would argue one of the most historic watch brands out there. They're an Italian brand with a ton of history. Like I mentioned before, the retail on this watch, on that PAM 619, comes in at $10,700. Currently, Bezel have this watch for under $6,500 as well. Huge discount on this watch as well. You're getting a micro-rotor watch with 100 meters of water resistance, a titanium case, a 3-day movement. Lots going into this watch for a pretty good price, in my opinion. Originally retailing for almost $11,000, you can get it under $6,500 on the Bezel website right now. Definitely check out the Bezel website. In-house authentication. They source watches for you if they don't have them. They just started auctions as well, so definitely check out some of their auctions. Some of the watches that are selling on their auctions right now are incredible. You definitely want to check them out. And of course, they have a very modern website, not like a lot of marketplaces out there that are somewhat cumbersome. They are awesome. It's fluid, it works really well. It's just a lot of fun to browse their website and of course their app as well. I will put a discount code down in the description if I have one. Usually they give me a specific discount code for my viewers, so I will add that down in the description below. I'm a customer of theirs. I really do love them. That's why I want you guys to also enjoy them as well. Tell me what you guys think of these two Panerai down in the comments below. Tell me what you think about what I said in this video about not paying retail. I haven't done this in a while, like I said, but this is one of the things, one of the foundations of my channel. I never buy retail, especially when you're talking about luxury watches. Obviously, when you're talking about affordable watches like a Timex, there's no avoiding that. But if you're going to buy a Panerai, why pay the $10,700 when you could pay the $6,495? It just makes a lot more sense. That's just the way I have collected throughout my collection history, and that's the way I will going forward because I like to save money. What can I say? Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.